There's a moment in every human life that separates the dreamers from the builders, the observers from the creators, the ordinary from the extraordinary. Most people never notice that moment. It arrives quietly. No thunder, no warning, no dramatic announcement. It comes disguised as an ordinary day, an ordinary decision, an ordinary thought. And that is why most people miss it. They spend their lives searching for some magical formula, some hidden shortcut, some secret available only to the wealthy, the gifted, the lucky, or the powerful. They look at successful people and imagine there must be something different about them, something they were born with, something impossible to acquire. But history tells a different story. The men and women who changed the world were not handed certainty. They were not handed confidence. They were not handed guarantees. They were handed doubt. They were handed obstacles. They were handed rejection. And yet, they moved forward. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before illuminating the world. Abraham Lincoln suffered defeat after defeat before leading a nation through its darkest hour. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination. Henry Ford was mocked for believing ordinary people could own automobiles. The world saw impossibility. They saw possibility. The world saw barriers. They saw opportunity. And hidden beneath every achievement, every breakthrough, every fortune, every victory, there was one invisible force operating behind the scenes, the secret weapon of every successful person. Not talent, not luck, not connections, not education. The secret weapon was the ability to believe before the evidence appeared. Think about that. Most people wait for proof before they believe. Successful people believe before proof arrives. That single difference changes everything. The average person says, "When I see results, I will become confident." The successful person says, "I will become confident and then results will follow." The average person says, "When conditions improve, I will take action." The successful person says, "I will take action and conditions will improve." The average person waits for certainty. The successful person creates certainty through movement, because life rewards motion. The river that flows remains alive. The river that stops begins to decay. And the same is true for the human spirit. Your greatest enemy is not failure. Your greatest enemy is hesitation. Hesitation steals more dreams than failure ever could. Every year, millions of people write goals. They imagine better lives. They imagine healthier bodies, stronger relationships, greater income, more freedom, more purpose. But imagination without commitment becomes entertainment. A dream that never enters action remains nothing more than a pleasant distraction. Success begins the moment thought transforms into decision. Decision is powerful because it cuts away alternatives. It burns bridges to excuses. It eliminates negotiation with weakness. The moment you truly decide, something extraordinary happens inside you. Your energy changes, your posture changes, your focus changes, your identity begins to change, because the greatest transformation never happens around you. It happens within you. The world constantly teaches people to focus on external circumstances, the economy, the competition, the obstacles, the criticism, the setbacks. But every great achiever eventually discovers a truth that separates leaders from followers. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. The mind is a garden. Whether you realize it or not, something is always growing there. Fear grows, doubt grows, confidence grows, faith grows, courage grows. The question is not whether seeds are being planted. The question is which seeds are receiving your attention. Every thought repeated often enough becomes a belief. Every belief repeated often enough becomes an identity. And every identity repeated often enough becomes destiny. This is why successful people guard their minds so carefully. They understand that before victory appears in reality, it must first exist in imagination. Before a building rises from the ground, it exists as a blueprint. Before a symphony fills a concert hall, it exists as notes on paper. Before success becomes visible, it exists as a vision held faithfully in the mind. Most people underestimate the power of vision because they confuse seeing with believing. But history repeatedly proves the opposite. Believing creates seeing. Every great achievement was once invisible. Every invention was once impossible. Every empire was once an idea. Every fortune was once a thought. And every extraordinary life begins as a vision powerful enough to survive criticism, doubt, delay, and uncertainty. That is why clarity matters. A scattered mind creates a scattered life. A focused mind creates focused results. The sunlight that warms your skin cannot ignite fire, but the same sunlight concentrated through a magnifying glass can burn through solid material. Your attention works the same way. When your energy is divided among distractions, progress becomes slow. When your energy becomes concentrated, momentum becomes unstoppable. Look around. The modern world profits from your distraction. Notifications compete for your focus. Entertainment competes for your attention. Opinions compete for your identity. Every day there are forces attempting to pull you away from your purpose. Because a distracted person is easily controlled, a focused person becomes powerful. And power begins when you choose a direction and refuse to abandon it. Not because the journey becomes easy, but because the destination becomes important enough. Every successful person eventually reaches a point where excuses lose their influence, where comfort loses its appeal, where temporary pleasure becomes less valuable than long-term fulfillment. That is where discipline is born. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is self-respect in action. It is the ability to keep a promise made to yourself long after the excitement of making it has disappeared. Anyone can act when motivated. Champions act when motivation is absent. Anyone can move forward when circumstances are favorable. Champions move forward when conditions are difficult, because they understand something the average person never learns. Feelings are temporary. Purpose is permanent.